Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Glad you could join us. You can see we're celebrating autumn. So many grand things here. It's going to be wonderful. Welcome to Flower School Live. Boy, things are dinging in here. Things are going on. You know, we always say quiet on the set, but it's never quiet. There's always things going on. The set is actually kind of chaotic, but I just stand up here and get excited because I'm surrounded by flowers and I'm hanging out with my friends, the Tulip Tribe, and I'm glad to have you here. If you are a first timer, welcome. A couple of hints that'll help you. If you're a regular, you already know those things. If you're watching on your telephone, turn it sideways, you'll get a bigger picture. If the comments cover some things and that kind of irritates you, if you swipe it, actually I guess it's swipe it this way, it'll go into a silent mode where you can see the video and hear me, but you don't see the comments. And then when you're ready, swipe it the other direction and you will have the comments back. If you don't want to do that, you want to see the comments and the pictures, do it vertically and that works out. Now we are live on Facebook, Instagram. So Facebook, this is this camera. Hi there guys, glad you joined me. We're live on YouTube. That's this camera. Hey there, glad you're here. And we're on Instagram. That's this camera. Hi there, glad you could join us. So depending on where I'm looking, I might be talking to an Instagram person, I might be a YouTube or a Facebook person, or I might be just talking to myself, you know, whatever. But it's kind of fun to have everybody. If you are watching on your computer, you can go full screen. If you're on YouTube, you can hook it to your TV and go giant screen. If you're watching it on your Apple Watch, you can do super tiny screen. This technology is too weird, way too weird. But I'm glad we have technology. I'm glad that we get to have our weekly collaboration. The team is all here. We've got David on technology. Marissa is watching the feeds to be able to mount the questions to me. Caledonia is on Facebook and greeting you and answering any questions there. Susie is on YouTube, greeting you and answering questions there. And then who knows, many more are on there just watching and participating. Love to know who you are. Make a point, if you're part of the Tulip Tribe, add your tulip. If you're part of the Flower Lovers Club, then you're part of the tribe. You support free education. You're our follower, and we love you for that. Go ahead and put your tulip in and let people know where you're from. That way you can find out who's your neighbor. Maybe there's two of you from the same city that haven't met yet. Maybe you like to see where the rest of your tribe is so that you can find out what they're doing, who they are. So now I'm assuming some of you have already done that because you know that's the drill. Marissa, have you got a list of what's going on here?
Well, speaking of which, Marianne Sievers, who was on, we were actually conversing through email recently, and I think it was her, but she's from Ohio and was wondering how she can connect with other Tulip Tribe members throughout Ohio. And I was like, get on Facebook Live. So I told her if she's on, we would do a shout out for her.
Excellent. So did everybody hear that? Mary is in Ohio and wants to connect with the tribe. So if you're in Ohio, do a shout out. Say, hey Mary, this is where I am. Now I realize Ohio is a pretty big state, so you might be in two different parts. I believe Alana's in Ohio now too, so maybe she's on. So let's do a shout out to our Ohio people, and Mary, you connect with them. That way you can meet the tribe. That's what this is all about. Connections, supporting each other, getting to know each other, and sharing a cup of coffee. The important parts of life. Now today, we said it's a celebration of autumn. So you can see I've surrounded myself with autumn treasures. If you're on Instagram, you've got a vertical field, and so you don't see everything, but as I pull it out into the center, you will. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, you can see I've got Nandina, Chrysanthemums, Pieris, Bidiums, Protea, more Chrysanthemums, Leucadendron, Kangaroo Paw, Scabiosa, Magnolia, Lacquered Oak, Rose Hips, Grevillea, Hypericum, Vendella Roses, then Pampas Grass, and then something kind of fun and different we'll be working with today, unless I run out of time, who knows. If I run out of time, well then you'll see it when we do it later. I have some bleached and preserved hanging amaranthus. I think there's a couple of pieces here that are connected. Let's see, there it goes. So it's bleached and preserved hanging amaranthus. What do you think of that? Isn't that gorgeous? We just filmed a Christmas wreath using this, and you'll be able to see. If you love it, tap your screen. If you think somebody should learn about bleached and preserved hanging amaranthus, tag them so that they'll come on and join in. You could share the video. It's a little early for that, but you know what? It's never too early. So tag a friend, share the video, because we're going to be using some of this today. Isn't that cool? It's wonderful stuff. It was great in the Christmas wreath that I did. I called it a winter wreath because I thought it doesn't have to be just Christmas. It could be the entire winter season. And with that bleached and preserved, it's going to hold for months. You could put it up in November, keep it December, January, February, and just swap it out when the daffodils bloom. It'll be grand. Now, the other thing we're going to be doing today is sharing a little bit about the Ninth Moon Exposition, the Ninth Moon Floral Showcase, the Ninth Moon Celebration, and the premiere evening. Some of you know about it, some of you don't. And if you've not been part of it in the past, it's this weekend. And I'd love to invite you to join us in person if you can, and virtually if you can't get to Portland, Oregon, because we'll be doing another live on Saturday morning. Early Saturday before the garden opens, I've gotten permission to go in and walk you through so you can see all of the beautiful floral exhibits. We have 20 designers coming in and creating floral art to place in Lansu Chinese Garden. The premiere evening is Friday night. The installation is Friday morning. Then the judges come and judge and make sure that everybody did the things they were supposed to, and they pick the best, the first, second, and third prize. And thanks to Florist Review and Wildflower Media, so Canadian Florist and Florist Review and Super Floral, there's more than $3,000, or maybe it is $3,000, I shouldn't say more. There is $3,000 in prizes to be awarded. It's a really big deal. I'm very excited about that. So we have designers flying in from all over the world. They're coming in from Canada, China, Missouri, Oregon, Washington, California. It's just kind of amazing how it's all going to go. So yesterday, teacher Marissa made up 2 arrangements. One that we took to the garden to advertise to guests that are visiting this week to come back this weekend to see. Beautiful tall arrangement. If you are in the area, pop over to the garden now and see it. It's stunning. We used one of the Accent Decor Harlow stands, so it elevated it, and it's excellent. Then she made this smaller one that is my favorite, and I brought it back home with me. I didn't leave it at the garden. I wanted to share it with you. It is a textural masterpiece. And the reason that we made this one is it includes persimmons and pomegranates and lotus pods, which all of these are in the garden. If you come to visit the garden, you'll see a pomegranate plant. You'll see a persimmon tree. You'll see lotus out in the water. And I thought, how wonderful to really show the beauty that's in the natural surroundings of the garden in this beautiful design. Then she tucked in chrysanthemums, grevillea, fatsia leaves, some button mums. It's just stunning. If you love it, tap the screen. Let's do a shout out for teacher Marissa. If you think she did a good job on this, I think she did. I think it's pretty grand. So I thought, boy, I don't even have to work. I'll just show you what she made. It's a big basket, put a liner inside, filled that with foam, and then a pave radiating from a central binding point with everything just inserted in. And one of the pomegranates actually cut so that you see the center point. Isn't that gorgeous? Again, tap the screen if you love it. Tag a friend that needs to see it, because this is worth seeing. Absolutely worth seeing. So David, Marissa, what's going on out there? I'm going to move this one away and get ready to do some designing, but what's happening in the flower world?
Well, we got a lot of Tulip Tribers out there on Facebook. We have Diana, Christina, Vicky, Kelly, Marianne, Joy, Wayne, Karen, Debbie, and David Kessler, and Renee, Andrew, and Harmony. And then on YouTube, I've seen just a few that I've recognized, more Matt Conley. And then we also have a new Tulip Tribe member, Jennifer, on YouTube.
Hey Jennifer, if you're a new member, I'm excited to have you join us. It's so grand. And you know, YouTube, we've only been doing it for a little while, so we're getting used to you and learning your names and such. But make sure you interact with us, because the more you do, the more we get to know you, and it all just kind of goes together and makes it fun. So I'm pulling out, I was gonna do this one second, but you know, I wanna make sure and use this preserved and dried material. So I'm going ahead and pulling it out first. And I picked this vessel because it's got the autumn hues, but it's got a little bit of that ivory as well, which I thought worked very well with the hanging amaranthus. Do you like that? Let me know. Tell me what you think if you love it. David, what's going on out there?
Oh, they love the hanging amaranthus. They're going crazy. The question is, where did you get that? And the other question is, how did you do that?
How did I do that? I didn't do anything.
Bleached and preserved.
Oh, bleached and preserved. I didn't do it. I just bought it. That's all. So I was down at our local wholesale house, and Mayesh Wholesale was kind enough to donate to the Ninth Moon Extravaganza. They provided all of the materials that Gina Thresher needs to do her grand exhibit Friday afternoon, Friday evening, I guess it is, at the premiere evening. She's doing a huge installation, larger than life, enormous. The space she needs is like a 10 by 10 space, and she's filling it. And they provided all the flowers. So I was there picking up those flowers, and then I found this, and I just thought, I have to have that. So I bought that. So it is preserved and bleached professionally. It's not something you could really do yourself at home. Maybe you could, but in my opinion, it would be one of those epic Pinterest fails, because A, the chemical is probably not something you want around your home, and so I would be a little nervous. But so this is done ahead of time. I don't know who's doing it, but I bought it there. The other thing that I bought, same time, was bleached and preserved oak leaves. I'm enjoying all the different colors that they have now. So the bleached and preserved is the neutral, which then also will go with the vase. Then I also bought the lacquered. So this is not natural, it's actually been painted. Such gorgeous color. And I absolutely adored that. I just thought that was, oh, you know, I could use it over the top of my tulip, but I won't do that. But isn't that a beautiful color? To me, that is so autumn. It's just splendid. And that will hold so well. The bleached and preserved oak, the thing that I have found with this over the years, because it's been around for a while, you may remember it back in the 80s and the 90s when it came in sort of yellows and oranges that had been dyed that way as opposed to bleached. That was on trend then. Now the bleaching is more on trend and being used quite a bit in event work, weddings, that type of thing. But one thing I learned back in the day that you may not know is there's a lot of leaves kind of all twisted together, so you don't get a lot of value. Sometimes it gets kind of too tight. And if you take an iron, yes, me who will not iron clothes, I never iron clothes. That's just like there's not enough time in the day to iron clothes. Just don't buy anything that ever needs to be ironed. Or if you do by accident, wear it wrinkled and just say that's the new style. But I do own an iron that I use for flower things. And if you take your leaves and actually iron them, I know there's not enough time in the day, but it does make a difference. Iron them out and you'll get full value, and it looks just so pretty. Now, if you're like me and you don't like to iron, you may have to get somebody else to do it, but I'm gonna still show you. I'll do it, and I'll be honest, I have ironed many a leaf, and I would iron leaves. Where I wouldn't iron clothes, I would take the time to iron leaves.
Well, I hope that's not my job tomorrow.
Oh, Marissa, I didn't tell you, did I, that I needed all these leaves ironed? Would you mind? Can we get a volunteer to come and iron Leanne's leaves? There was one year that I took, I don't know why I got so obsessive and crazy, but I decided I loved leaves, and we have this beautiful maple that's near my home, and I went out for weeks picking up leaves as they fell, getting the most beautiful ones, finding the perfect red leaves, and then I would take them home And if you iron a true maple leaf, so a fresh one, not a preserved one, if you iron it with waxed paper, it puts the wax on it and it seals it, and they'll keep their color and they won't wrinkle. And they'll last literally years. I did that and I kept it for 3 years before I got tired of them. But I did hundreds and hundreds of the leaves, and then I hung them from bullion wire in my house and created a beautiful wall of falling leaves. It was just gorgeous. So look at that. You can see a difference between smashed up and ironed. Isn't that great? What else is going on out there, David and Marissa?
Ricky King says a steamer or a humidifier works well too.
You know, I wonder, I have not tried the steamer. So, Ricky, have you tried that to where you just kind of steam it? Because I have one of those. I wonder if that would work as well. Do you have to kind of pull them apart like I am with this to get it to work? That's a good suggestion. Interesting. I'll have to try that, get my steamer out. What else is going on?
And then Marmac actually wants to know what you have the heat setting at.
The heat setting is just a little over halfway. So it's medium plus. Little over medium. And I'm doing it just right on the table because it's not that hot. If it was hotter, I would have to be careful of my table, but medium plus. And experiment with your iron, be careful because you don't want to burn your leaves or burn your hands or burn your table. And some irons are a little bit pickier. I like the travel size because it's a smaller head that I can sort of control better than a full-size iron. So I like that. You could use a full-size iron. It really wouldn't matter. It could be either or. What else is going on? I've got a couple more irons to do, and then I'm going to get started designing. So ask your questions while I'm ironing. And, you know, this is probably something you'll never see again, Leanne ironing. So be very excited about that because it's not something that I tend to do. But with leaves, sometimes you just have to.
I see a few more Tulip Tribe members here on Facebook. Petals and Fronds, Sandy, Julie, Jen, and Frida.
Hi there. So glad you could join us. Love having you. Well, how has your week been going? You know, let's chat about that. We all join here on Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. It's, you know, been kind of crazy because with Halloween last weekend, a lot of people had huge events and parties and costumes and all things going on. Kids are just going bonkers because there's candy everywhere. How's your week been? Have you had a lot of Halloween sales? Have you just been too busy Halloween partying yourself? You know, what's your world like out there? My week's been pretty good, I'll be honest. It's been a fun week because the weather here is so splendidly sunny. It's just been a delight. I've been going out for a walk just to see what's going on in the neighborhood. We had a windstorm and it blew down most of the leaves a couple of days ago, so most of our fall color is beginning to be gone, but there's a little bit left. So anyway, okay, that's enough ironing. I'm bored. Are you bored with it? I am. So let's go back to our lovely little vase. I've got some leaves. I've got some of the hanging amaranthus. And I thought, just because it's different, I was going to stick with as much of the neutral hues as possible. So pampas grass, that's good. Now pampas grass sheds horribly. So I sprayed this down. You can see how it's kind of sticking together because I didn't want it to shed. It just makes me crazy. So I sprayed it down. Now I want to divide it, so I'm having to kind of reach in here to find a spot to cut it. And I just sprayed it with a spray glue so that it locked it together. Now it doesn't give you that wispiness, but if you're familiar with pampas grass, the wispiness then just sheds everywhere and makes you kind of like, oh. And you can still kind of pull it out, but it's not as soft now. Then I can place this in. I don't want it down in the water though, so I'm going to pull out a little more because I want to have room for my other things. Now let's look at all those little things wisping around. Even though I sprayed it, it gives it a little bit of wispiness still going on. So bringing that in, bringing in another piece here. I'm getting pampas all over everything. Oh. I've been helping my neighbor, and he has a white Persian cat. And I have white Persian cat hair all over everything, it seems like. It's been quite the adventure. I've decided if I ever get a cat again, it's going to have to be black. Since I always wear black clothes, then at least the cat hair wouldn't show so badly. It's been kind of funny. Every time I go in, I'm like, don't touch me. But she is the prettiest little cat. We call her Miss Kitty. And she is quite the princess. A bit of a diva, I would say. But if I was a white Persian kitty, I'd probably be a diva too. Okay. So bringing up that neutral color to the top, carrying it up from the vessel, and then coming in and letting it trail down. Now to get my value of this, I'm going to break it apart and use it in bits. So if I cut it here, there we go. And then pulling off the sides.
Leanne,
Yeah.
with your pampas grass, and actually Carolyn mentioned this yesterday, and also Jeffrey's recommending on Facebook that he sprays it with Aquanet.
Aquanet is the best. I just didn't happen to have any Aquanet hanging around the office because I didn't. But yes, Aquanet is perfect. I use spray glue, which is a little stiffer, and so it kind of bunched it closer together. Aquanet doesn't bunch it together as badly, so it gives you more softness to it. But yes, Aquanet hairspray is perfect for that. Okay, you can see how by dividing it out, and I'm not going to waste this really long one. This really long one I'm going to save for something else because it's too beautiful to cut short. I'm using more of the smaller bits so that I don't waste anything. Then bringing it around to the back a little bit. David, Marissa, anything else going on out there?
Well, Ricky says if you use a steamer and just hold the whole branch in front of the steam and twirl it around, the leaves will just unfold and be beautiful.
Excellent. Okay, did everybody catch that hint from Ricky? Try the steamer and just spin it around a bit and they will unfurl. I'm personally going to try that because that would be faster than ironing. See, that's why I love these weekly collaborations because I learn from you just like you learn from me, and it makes it so fun. We learn from each other. There's so much we can all do to be together and better. Okay, Marissa, what else do you have?
Shout out to Jen Rasmussen, who is a past night classroom student who just did her first official wedding.
Oh, congratulations, Jen, your first official wedding. Oh my gosh. Everybody, let's do a shout out to Jen. Give her some love. Tap the screen, show that you're excited for her, and maybe just go ahead and say, congratulations, Jen. First weddings are scary, and we should be proud. You know, and that's, what else has gone out there that's a first this week? Who else has had something happening? Because I know people have opened stores, they're doing weddings, they're doing all kinds of things. Turning it around so I can create a strong line here, and I need to be able to see it to do that. So you're going to have to wait for me a second. David, what you got?
Well, Carolyn just put up her website, or at least her husband put up the website after your encouragement.
Oh, grand. Carolyn, I'm glad you got your website. Post it here so we all can see. Take a moment and just put the link on there so we can look at it and see what you're doing, because that's a big deal. Getting a website started is hard and scary, and putting yourself out there, oh my gosh, it's tough. I'm having a hard time making this stand up straight, so I'm keeping it facing me for a moment to make sure that I get it positioned well. Then I'm going to flip it back around to you and we'll keep designing, but I want to make sure that I don't screw up my straightness because I'm really wanting it to be more of a vertical design and not a crooked design. And then I'm going to bring a little around to the back too, so I keep things centered into the vessel as opposed to just a one-sided arrangement. Marissa, David, what else is happening?
Well, Alana wants you to know she just did her first styled shoot. She was inspired by the Creative Retreat, and I saw those photos. Alana, you did a great job.
Oh,
Yay.
Yay, Alana. Tap the screen for Alana. Give her some love. Styled shoots are kind of important these days for people that want to do events or freelance work, because people want to see what you can do. And if you do it for a real event, sometimes you can't really use those pictures well, or you might not get really great images to work with. So by doing it as a styled shoot, you can get the image that you need and really convey the message that you want to convey. And that really works out nicely. So that's exciting. Congratulations, Alana. Glad you did that. And we have another graduate. What am I trying to think? David, help me. Oak and Fig Floral. Shane from Oak and Fig Floral. He does beautiful styled shoots. If you ever get a chance. He graduated from the program. He's a certified floral designer and certified wedding floral specialist, both. And his styled shoots are amazing. He does a really good job. Now I'm going to come in with some of the oak. What else is going on?
Well, I have a question from Sharon on YouTube, which I'm actually going to ask Ricky to answer this, because I don't know if we know the answer to this, but she wanted to know if steaming would help her fresh magnolia leaves.
Oh, I have never steamed a fresh magnolia. That's a good question. Okay, for the tribe, who has tried steaming a fresh magnolia? How funny. You know, we're all going to go get our steamers out and try experimenting with different steaming things, just because we all want to know what's going to work and what's not. Now, I've got a few of these individual leaves, and I really want to bring in some color down here. So what I'm going to do is cheat, get my pick machine, and then just put a stem directly on to the leaf. So just pulling it forward. Oh, no picks in that one. Let's get the different pick machine. There we go. We'll reload that one later. There we go. So the pick machine has these handy dandy steel picks like this. Okay, they're very sharp, so you have to be careful. You don't want to cut yourself. You pull them forward, and then just gather together, place it in, and then clamp back and pull it straight out, and it gives you a stem so that you can place that in. Now obviously you can't do that with a fresh flower because it's not going to drink water then, and that would be a problem. But for the dried and preserved, it's a great way to just get this down in here with little effort. Find a spot, there we go. You can see how it just gives you that neutral feel in there. Now I'm going to add a little bit more just because I can. When you look at this vessel, you see that orange on there. The orange is quite lovely. And if I take some of the scarlet willow, if I get it out of here, there we go. The scarlet willow is a red curly willow. So it's just like curly willow like we get year round. But in the autumn, scarlet willow actually gets this really fiery orangey red hue. And it's so fabulous. And so working this in will give me some dimension, make the design just a little bit more dynamic, not quite so static as right now. Everything's quite static in here. So bringing in even just little bits down towards the bottom, finding the hole. See that comes out and around over the top, giving some movement there. Here's another great piece. Maybe bringing it in, kind of shadowed underneath. Placing it down in. And then I'm just going to kind of bend it a little bit so it comes downward, molding it. So I'm just forcing it. Turning it to face myself, make sure it's doing what I want it to do. There we go. Keep coming down. Just bending it directly over the edge of the vase. There we go. Getting that movement going on, and then coming back with another piece, maybe a little taller. So what I'm doing is picking up all the ivory in the vase, but then coming back with that orange and letting that come in as well. Bringing some in. All of it down through a central binding point. Turn it so that I make sure I'm semi-straight here. Adjusting my roses. Getting everything in there. Maybe one more piece. So a question for you. With the autumn season and autumn celebration, what's your favorite part? What makes you the happiest about autumn? I'll tell you, for me, it's going for a walk and kicking leaves. I love kicking fallen leaves, that crisp crinkle as you walk on them, and then you kick them and they fly through the air, and it just makes me so happy. I don't know why, but I've always just loved kicking fall leaves. So that's my favorite part of the season. What is your favorite part of the season? What makes you happy in the autumn? What really floats your boat, so to speak? And while you think about that and get it typed in, I'm going to set this aside so that we can make another arrangement. Do you like it? Would you do an all ivory autumn design like that? Or is it too pristine? Is it not autumn? I thought it was kind of fun, the essence of autumn with that super neutral palette so that you don't have the orange shouting at you, an alternative to the Halloween. What do you think? Tap your screen if you like it. Tag a friend if they should see it. Share the video. Let us know what's your thoughts. And I'll show you another design. Let's get another one ready here. This vase is one of my favorites off the shelf, and I saw it, I forgot I even owned it. And I saw it when I went back looking, and I thought, oh, that's what I need. It's just the most gorgeous vessel. It was a gift and one that I truly love, and I've used it so many different times in so many different ways. Nancy Higgins used it for the 9th moon several years ago, doing a design piece for the showcase, and she's a multimedia artist, so she actually did a painting that hung on the wall behind it, and then did the floral design that accented the painting. It was exquisite, absolutely gorgeous. I thought it was one of the best things I'd ever seen. And she just borrowed my vase for it, and then I got it back. I should have got the painting too, but oh well, another time. Actually, she probably sold the painting. Okay.
So again, on Facebook, Andrew during this time loves the food. And then we have Erica on YouTube who likes the weather in Florida.
The weather in Florida, which isn't really autumn. Oh my gosh, how fun is that? And the food, you know, it's true. This is the time of year that you start thinking comfort food. All of a sudden, potatoes are good again. Oh man, should we be eating so many potatoes? But what the heck. And gravy, oh my gosh. Chicken, fried chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh yeah, does that sound good? Yeah, autumn, I love it. And hot cider, caramel apples, apple pie, meatloaf. Oh my gosh, I could go on and on with autumn foods. That was a good answer. What other answers do we have for favorites of autumn?
This is great from Kelly Krause. Let's see here. So she says she likes to see things in a new light. How can I use what is left over after summer?
What is left over after summer? You know, are we talking like the seed pods from the garden? The grasses? Is that what you're thinking? Because I think there'd be so many things you could do with that. And Kelly, you're up north, I believe, so you're kind of in a mecca of beautiful garden paradise. And oftentimes we forget how gorgeous the autumn garden can be. And so maybe gathering up the pods and the cones and the grasses and then creating a tapestry of color. That could be a ton of fun. So now I'm doing magnolia in here. So I've got magnolia and nandina, two of my favorite autumn foliages. and they pick up the color of the vessel, which I just love. So that kind of pulls it all together. A unified design, thinking about your elements and principles. You always want to think about unity and color harmony, a form, space, textures. Maybe some rose hips.
And you have Jacqueline on, and she has started her watch parties again.
Oh, yay! I'm glad you're with us, Jacqueline. Thanks for having a watch party. That's pretty much fun. I know Heather does watch parties sometimes with us too, which is very fun. I don't know if she's with us today or not. She's getting ready. They're opening a brand new store, and she's going to be the lead designer. So that's very exciting. So congratulations, Heather, with a new flower shop. She's working with the owner, and she'll be the lead designer and helping her get it all done and ready to go, which is very exciting. I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook last week, I posted a picture of an easel spray that one of our online students did as an assignment. So she submitted it for evaluation. Absolutely gorgeous. If you didn't get a chance to see it, go pop over to the Facebook page, take a look, because online students, I try to post some of their work sometimes. We don't always get all of it posted because we're just kind of crazy around here sometimes, but it's fun to see student work. And if you didn't get a chance, take a look at it. If you haven't joined us for online studies yet, do it before November 1st. And I told you guys last week, but I'm going to tell you again, and that's just the cold, harsh reality. On November 1st, the price is going up for online basic floral design and online advanced floral design. So if you're thinking about doing it, get registered before November 1st so that you can get it at this year's rates, because it does go up very quickly here, and you want to get it locked in beforehand so that you don't miss out. Now, if you, let's see, today's Wednesday, so yesterday, Tuesday, if you get our emails each week, yesterday I shared with you how to keep your autumn leaves fresh for as long as possible. So care of the autumn leaves. If you missed it, you can go to the YouTube Flower School channel and you can find the autumn leaf video there. If you would love to get the tips each week, make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, and that way we'll just send it out. But we did autumn leaves on Tuesday, and then coming up next Tuesday is a tip with chrysanthemums, and I can't wait to share that with you, but I'm not going to do it now. That's next Tuesday, but thought I would save that and show you, and then remind you, when the mums come in with these little nettings, save them. Don't throw these away. And you'll see a tip coming up in a couple of weeks about what to do with these nettings, because that's coming up too. We've got so many fun things. The Tulip Tuesday tips are usually just a minute or two. They're just fast, silly tips that you go, oh, I didn't know that. And it makes your life so much easier. But I always save these, and that way I can use them when I show you my tip. Chrysanthemums are put with that little netting sleeve to protect them so that they don't lose their petals. And then when you open them out, aren't they beautiful? Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh, such gorgeous mums. When you join us for the 9th moon this weekend, if you're in person, you're going to see literally thousands of chrysanthemum blooms in the garden. The garden has been growing them in the greenhouse, and they're installing them this week so that they'll be all throughout the garden. More chrysanthemums than you can imagine. So many great specimen varieties. So things that you might not see commercially grown that are just beautiful. And they've been doing some that they've been training as bonsai or panjing. Bonsai is the Japanese term, panjing is the Chinese term. And so we have the panjing chrysanthemums. I saw one yesterday, it's exquisite. And then they have some that they've been training to be waterfalls to cascade downward. So you'll see all of that along with the floral art. So if you can't join us here in Portland, join me Saturday morning roughly 8 o'clock. I don't know the exact time yet. It's going to be around 8 to 9, somewhere in there. And I'll be doing a live stream where I can walk through the garden. I'll show you the chrysanthemums, and then I'll show you all the exhibits. So that's this Saturday. So make sure that you follow us so that you get alerted when we go live, so you don't miss out, because that's one of our favorite times each year. And we'll know who won, so I can let you know and show you that first prize, second prize, third prize, and then you can decide, was that correct? Would you vote for that same one? Always kind of fun to see what the judges pick and then see the item and wonder, would I have chosen that one? And sometimes you would and sometimes you wouldn't. It just depends. Everybody has a different style and taste. Now I'm adding in leucodendron. Now, when you join us for flower school, we go through all this identification so that it helps you get used to the names, and you'll have the pictures, you've got it on video, you've got it in writing, so then you can really understand all the terminology and understand all the techniques. If you're in the Flower Lovers Club, those of you that are in flower school, you know that the Flower Lovers Club is almost like a Cliff's Notes version of the program. It's little reminders. So when you're in the program, you go through all of your studies on the elements and principles. And then when you go into the Flower Lovers Club, there's little short videos that kind of repeat that and give you more information so that you can capture that knowledge. And if you're in the online program, you get the Flower Lovers Club 2 for a year, which is kind of nice. It gives you that just double dose of floral education. And I want to do a shout out. I know that Marissa and David have been doing some shout outs, but I want to do a shout out to all of you that are members of the Flower Lovers Club, because it may seem simple and easy because it's only $59.95 a year. It's not a big deal. And then you get 5 private libraries, all very educational. You get 20% off on shopping, but that's sort of secondary. The big part is those 5 educational libraries. But I want to thank you, because it's through your support of the Flower Lovers Club that we can do free education, that we can do this for you, because you're supporting the educational program. So all of you in the Flower Lovers Club, thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. And everybody here that is benefiting from it, they appreciate it too. So thank you so very much. What do you think? Some protea in there? Too much? Yes or no? Okay, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to put it in yet while you guys vote as to whether or not we're putting protea into this one. David and Marissa, you guys pay attention and let me know if I'm doing protea.
We have a question or needs just a little bit of advice for Heidi on Facebook. She's looking to purchase a place to open a shop. Any advice?
So purchasing a location for a shop or just purchasing a shop?
We're gonna have to ask her.
Okay, so we're kind of type it in there and we'll try to watch for your answer. Are you purchasing a location to put a shop, or are you thinking of purchasing an existing shop? Because different answers depending on the question. So let's kind of go there. Adding in my low lacquered leaves. Now some of them will be down too low so they won't show. So save them. Don't waste those. Just pull them off, because you don't need all of them on there, but we'll use them in something else. Then bringing them around and filling it in. Oh, these leaves just add such fullness. So do we have an answer on the shop question, and do we have an answer on the protea question?
Well, on the protea question, it's mixed, but most people are saying no, it's too much.
Okay, then we're not going to do it.
Same on YouTube.
Okay.
Say
No protea. Protea, go away. Okay. Well, that takes care of that. I'm glad it was a quick answer, so we can keep going here. The lacquered leaves add such dimension. And those of you that have taken classes know Leanne's rule, which is 3 or more foliages for interest. So I have my Nandina, and now I've got the lacquered leaves. And so it gets so much more interesting. And then you could even say that the leucodendron counts as a foliage, although it's a flower, but it's kind of coming in as a foliage. It gives it so much dimension to that. I am just loving, because this is sort of the essence of autumn. You know, this truly has everything, and it's going to last so long. I've got maybe just a little bit of some other color. Doesn't want too much, because you're right, we don't want it to get busy. Maybe a tiny bit of kangaroo paw, adding in some texture.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So Harmony, who is a past online student, she wants to know where you get all of your inspiration from with all these different designs that you do every day.
You know, Harmony, that's an excellent question, and you'll be surprised. I get my inspiration from a number of different places. One is just being outside, because if I go for a walk, like when I go to the garden tomorrow, well, let's say Friday, I'm going into the garden to help with the install. I'll come back and just want to play with my flowers, because seeing everything out there gets me going. But the other thing that inspires me is just being around you and seeing what you do. When students submit their work, I'll go, oh my gosh, look what they did. Look at that arrangement. Oh my gosh, I never thought about trying it that way. And I then immediately have to go say, oh, I gotta go try that. I wanna see if that works for me. I get inspired by Ricky when he says, go get the steamer. I'm thinking, you know, I've never tried steaming things, and now I sort of wanna try steaming a variety of things just to see what happens. So my inspiration comes from you and from nature. That would be my answer there. Okay, Marissa.
Okay, so we're getting some questions. Is that grevillea that you're using? And my question is that dyed though, the backside?
It is grevillea, and it is natural.
It is.
Yeah, this is the natural. So it's two-sided, like the magnolia. It's green on one side and kind of reddish on the other side. Isn't it great? I love grevillea. I have to be careful. When it flowers, I'm allergic to it, and it makes me itch, 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 itch. But when it's not in flower stage, when it's just the leaves like this, it doesn't bother me. So you'll have to kind of experiment, see if it bothers you. Be careful, because if it does bother you, then make somebody else do it and put it in your arrangement, because isn't that beautiful? It adds so much. Now, some people would say this is too much texture, because I have so many different things here. You know what? I must have, you know, I'm wondering. I thought it's not dyed, but look what's coming off on my hands. What do you think, Marissa? Do you think it's dyed?
So actually, that's funny. Right when you said that, Elizabeth on Facebook said she used leaves at a rainy tent wedding, and they dripped dye on the tablecloths.
Yes. And you know what? I didn't think this was dyed, but look at that. It's definitely dyed. Look at my fingers. Whoa. So, note to self, yes, it's dyed. So, oh. So now you know I'm not perfect. I've got things that I'm learning from you guys and from learning from my fingers all the time. You saw that. Okay. What do you think? Do you like that? All that texture in there? Too much fun. If you like it, tag a friend that needs to see it. Share the video. Tap your screen. Let us know. Kind of fun. I've got just a few more minutes.
Loretta Heiser just came on. You need to say hello.
Hey Loretta, and you know, next week is the chrysanthemum tip. So on your birthday, I'll be sending out an email to the world with the chrysanthemum tip on it. So watch for it next Tuesday. Loretta is turning, well, I'm not going to tell her age, because you're never supposed to tell a lady's age, but if she wants to tell it, she can. But she is one of our tribe and has watched for years and years and years. And so how exciting. Thought I'd do one in foam and do a smaller piece, sort of as an accent to the larger one. So I liked the way the two vessels look together. And if you were doing a pair to go somewhere, that could be fun. This is where I can use the individual leaves that I saved. Just placing them directly into the foam, terracing them, pulling them down a little bit. Maybe come out to the opposite side so that I have a horizontal line coming through the design, pulling your eye from front to back, keeping the elements and principles of design going on. Terracing on this side. I'm going to scooch this one over a little bit so you can see. Then coming in with my dyed grevillea. So Saturday, when I do the live from the garden, that's going to be different than what we normally do, simply because I'll be outside. And so if we lose you, I'll just turn it back on and start again. But just know that the challenge of being outside is going to be a little bit different. But I just don't want you to miss the beauty in the garden. It's just so, so, so fabulous. There we go.
So Marmac and Greg Baker on YouTube, you should see their conversation that they're having back and forth with Therese, but Marmac is saying, Leanne always has the greatest containers, laugh out loud, and Greg's like, yeah, she must have a stash.
Yes, I do have quite a stash. I will be honest. We have a long aisle. I don't know, what is it, David, 20 feet? What do you think? Yeah, he's saying yes, about 20 feet. We have 20 feet, two sides with stacked shelves. I think it's 3 shelves high, 4 shelves high, he's telling me. So 4 times on both sides, 20 feet long, and it's just packed with different vessels that I've collected over the years. Because you know, when you love flowers, oh, that one died, bad flower. When you love flowers as much as I do, you're constantly finding new vases, new things, and you just gotta have one more. And yeah, I do have a lot of vessels. And then we are very fortunate that sometimes people gift us things, so that adds to the collection. And then we take some to the classrooms, leave some here, and it just, you know, it's almost like they grow. I sometimes wonder, where did these all come from? Because I don't remember buying them all, but they're there. So now I'm creating a horizontal line, doing a pave across the base, just tucking it very, very low. Notice, yeah, it works. Then coming back in, maybe one of the chrysanthemums. Opening it out. Oh, just so beautiful. Maybe a couple of the scabiosa pods. Okay. Now, if you've got questions, you've got about 5 minutes to put it out there, because we'll have to be going off at 1 hour, and Instagram may go off a little bit sooner because it sets itself. It doesn't let us set it, so it just sort of goes off at exactly 60 minutes. So if I go to 62, sorry. So if I cut off, that's the reason on Instagram. I apologize, but we'll go ahead and finish. David, Marissa, what's going on out there?
Do you know the names of the varieties of those chrysanthemums you're using?
I don't. They are a deep brick red button variety. So it's a button spray mum, or if you are an older florist, a button pompon, because we call them pompons, P-O-M as in Mary, P-O-N as in Nancy, forever, and then they decided that it's trendier to call them spray mum, but I don't know the exact variety. So maybe if there's a chrysanthemum grower out there, you can fill us in what the variety is. What you got there, Marissa?
Dee on Facebook says, use the protea now.
Oh, we need a protea in there? We're going to do the chrysanthemum now. Let's see. What do you guys think? Okay, you got just a little while.
Yeah. Everyone's like, yes, no.
Okay, I guess it's going to be the chrysanthemum goes bye-bye, and the protea wins. So it's so big, I'm going to break it and then pull off the leaves. And then I'm going to do 2 of them, which means I got to make myself a little more room. So I did the smaller one first. Now I'm going to come back with the larger one. And you're right, this is where the protea belonged. Smart people out there.
Oh,
There you
yes.
go.
Oh, yes.
Do you
Great
like
idea.
it?
They love it. They love it.
They love it? Oh my gosh. You know what? I do too, but I'm kind of shifting it a little bit. I don't like where my placement is. I'll turn it back around in just a second because I've got to adjust slightly. There we go. Then, oh no, that's bad. Ah, what was I even thinking? Don't even. So there, I've got that. Then maybe bringing in a couple more leaves.
And we have a question on Facebook from Lisa. Do you have any tips on scabiosa pods falling apart?
You know, when they're fresh, they don't. These are older and dried and they're starting to fall apart. And I don't have anything special that I do for that. Do you have anything that you know of, Marissa?
Oh, I know it's once they're dried and fall apart.
I just give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's kind of, so no, we don't have any tips, but maybe somebody else out there in the tribe knows a special trick to go with that. So if you do, speak up, because we don't. Okay, tucking in a few more things, and then I'm going to flip it around and double check, see what else. Ooh, I know what I need. Some little bit of the Piaris has that same kind of rosy hue to it, and letting it come out the front here and drape down, helping to break the line of the container and giving a little more texture. And those are all greener. I don't want that, so I'm going to leave that. Flip it around, double checking, make sure I've covered. And I need a couple more chrysanthemums right over here, because I need some more fullness. What do you think? Do you like it? Is this kind of speaking to you? Did I use the protea correctly for you? Would you have done it differently?
Leanne, we have teacher Michelle and Anna on.
Oh, cool. So teacher Michelle, I hope Myrna's watching too. Get you both on here. Happy day, happy flowering, happy life, all those things. Teacher Anna, don't forget, you're teaching tomorrow. Ha 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 ha. No, it's all going to be fun. We've got so much going on. We've got teachers going crazy because we're all working on the ninth moon stuff. Students going crazy because we get to do the ninth moon stuff. And we've got graduate gala coming in tomorrow to help set up some special gifts they're going to be giving out at the garden. And then graduate Sandy's coming in on Friday to help set up the centerpieces for the premiere evening. So it's going to be a lot of things going on. So last questions, David.
Well, Via Floral just signed up for the Flower Lovers Club, and they want you to know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's you and the tribe that allows us to do this each week and to gather together. Thank you so much. It'll take a minute to get you loaded in there, so don't go, oh, why hasn't it happened? But you'll get an email from me, because I actually load that part in, because I want to know who's in my club, and I want to know who's in my tribe. So you're going to get an email from me personally, so obviously you have to wait till I'm off camera. And I'll send you your login credentials and your codes so that you can get in and become a member, completely fully vested, and have fun with us. So thank you. I do appreciate that. A lot of people don't realize when they get that email from me that it truly is from me. But I want to know everybody in our tribe, and that's why I do that. And it's just one of those things that's important to me, that I get to communicate directly with you. Marissa.
Okay, real quick, all those little extra little leaf bits,
Uh-huh.
how would you actually save those and store those for possibly later?
Like this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and like these, which I would
Yes.
do. So I would take all of these and just stack them nicely like this so that they didn't get wrinkled and crushed and such. And I would just stack them all, and then I would place them into a box and then put that box into the flower cooler. And if you don't have a flower cooler, put them into a box and then set them in your refrigerator. Or if you're in a cold area, put them in a box and put them on your backyard. But I would just put them in a box like that. Don't pour water on them because it will make the color go bad. It makes these magnolia leaves, see how it takes and they turn green? It just pulls off that sort of velvety finish. And on these, it would just take the color and wick it out. So just stack them, put them in a box, and put it in your cold refrigeration, and then you're good. So, guys, if you think about it, tell me which is your favorite. I've got 3 of them. I did the little guy, and then I did the autumn hued, and then I did the ivory. If you join me in the garden, you can see firsthand, up close and personal, the flat one with the pomegranates and persimmons that Marissa did, because I'm going to take that and put it on the Floral Design Institute table so that everybody sees it and sees how beautiful it is. So if you can join us in the garden, it'll be there. If you can't join us in the garden, join me live next Saturday morning. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. That way you'll get the alert. We won't be live on Instagram. We can only do, actually we're only going to be live on Facebook now that I think about it, because I can only do 1 camera. So you have to follow us on Facebook for the live from the garden. That's the only place I'll be able to do that. And then I'll keep it posted on our page. But Facebook is the only place. So follow Facebook, and that way you'll see it on Saturday. But thank you for joining me. Remember, the price goes up November 1st, so get registered for Basic Floral Design or Advanced Floral Design by the 1st so that you get the lower price. Join the Flower Lovers Club, support free education, and thank you. See you next week. Have a great rest of the time. Enjoy your Halloween. Happy holidays of the autumn season. You know, we celebrate. Halloween kicks it all off. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Get out there and do something you love.